everybody. I'm back. Let me turn this music off. Sometimes YouTube will hold back a production if it's got some music playing in the background that is copyrighted. So let's see if I turn it off. I am headed back home to Atlanta. And, you know, my mother and I and my dad did a little bit of work over at his mother's home. And she wants to get a picture because she went over there yesterday. That's 2 days in a row. And did more work. You know, we all love our grandmother and are honoring her memory and whatnot. But I really sense a little bit of a desperation in my mother, you know, trying to uphold, you know, this physical illusion that in truth is fizzling out. It has died out. And, you know, however each of us has to deal with this, you know, is an individual thing. But, you know, I love her, I love my grandmother, I love my family. And I have always done whatever I could to hold it all together. And so I'm en route now over to my grandmother's house. And I'm going to take this picture and then I'm going to head on back to Atlanta. And I felt like this would be a good time to use to discuss a few things. I do have my notes down there. I have been listening to Hemmitt, of course, and it is a reviewing of the New Matrix for Reality incredible series. And he has, again, laid out in great detail, mostly in part 2, about how we came to be on this nightmare planet. Just as an aside, last night was just horrific, dealing with this root chakra issue, which, you know, the more I think about it and observe it all, I do feel that it has something to do with the birthing of the Christ, as he has said, this time will be through the ass. And pockets of melanin that are here and there throughout the body, and the importance of drinking a lot of water. Well, this thing has gotten to a size that is alarming. And it is painful. And I cannot deny that. You know, last night I took 2 pain pills. That's something I've never done in my life. But anyway, you know, I'm to the point now where I can take the pain, but I know that those pills are going to wear off. And, you know, I don't know, you know, what to do, really. And I will not submit myself to a hospital. I think she heard me in there moaning last night and said, "Do you want to go to the hospital?" And I said, no. Especially knowing all that we know and about the times we're living in, the dangers of that. And I just don't want to even take that chance. Now, what to do about it all, I don't really know. But I'm headed back up here to Atlanta. And I'm just hoping for the best. Now, in a prior Bobby Hemmitt presentation, he mentioned this lady who does readings. And her name is Mama Simone or something like that. Lady Simone or Mama Simone, Sister Simone. And he listed her phone number. So I backed up and paused and wrote the phone number down. And I'm going to contact her and find out if she, first of all, is still available. And if that number is good. Because this presentation was probably done years ago. But I am willing to pay to have her heal me or request help. You know, I've written in my book about during a drug experience, I knew that I was damaging my lungs, but I was also learning at that time about Dr. Joshua Stone's book, Ascension Manual, it's called. Ascension Manual. And near the back, I learned about the Arcturian MAP teams, Medical Assistance Program. And I would request their help, and they would come and do what I call a vibrational type healing. Some sort of instrument they used. It was like 4 of them. I could sense their presence, though I couldn't see them. I wrote about the one that would tickle my feet and how aggravating that was, because it messed up my concentration as they placed this rod-like instrument near my lungs and vibrated. And sometimes it would go so high, and the higher, since my lungs were damaged, it would be in pain, and I would telepathically communicate, please lower the vibration, and they would. And then they would go and do what it is they were doing, and I could sense that they were leaving and had left, and I would just lie in my bed vibrating back down in awe of what had happened. Again, because that used to happen a lot. And I would get up and do calisthenics because my lungs have been healed. And then a period of years went by when, upon request, they were not coming. But I had a good friend. She's no longer with us, but she was an amazing white woman. Maybe she was mixed with something, but she had a group of us from starseeds.net, and she formed her own network called Spirit House Healing. And we all gathered there, and we intensely studied a lot of things. You know, I admire her so much because she always remained balanced and loving and helpful, and I felt connected to her. And then she passed. But prior to that, I had requested, when I really wanted help, that she contact these Arcturian healing teams. And sure enough, they came that night. Now, that was years ago. But they are not responding to my requests, and that bothers me. You know, I don't understand why I would have to live in pain like this as I have for so long, being a healer myself. And so I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but I'm headed back to Atlanta. I'm taking it a day at a time. Right now, I'm traveling the normal old way around Montgomery. Yesterday, you know, I was with my father, and we were in the newer east side in Montgomery, where he never even goes, I don't think. We had to go over there to fix the cable box or something, which did not, by replacing that box, it did not work. Now, every time I go home, because I understand technology and how it is used to attack us, especially if you have a big screen or a plasma TV. So when I'm at home, I unplug it because it's so big, it's right in front of the bed, and I can feel the energy coming off of there. I can feel the energy coming off of lights. And these LED lights that they're making, we have to really accept that we are under attack in almost every way. As children, we were under attack with fluorescent lighting. And now they're doing all sorts of things through those televisions. So I unplug it. Now, at home, I don't watch TV anymore. All that stuff has long been dislodged. But it used to be where I would, you know, wake up in the morning and replug it in, and it would go back to working right. That box would reset. Well, this last time I was watching the History Channel. As you know, I've been doing a lot of posting about that on Instagram, which is the only social media site where I am now. And I'm posting about how they continually try to write us out of history. And it seems that they're using technology to enhance themselves, and then to eradicate us from the planet, and then insert themselves into our history, as they have done all along. And you know, I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. And so I try to make at least the so-called conscious people aware of it. But anyway, that TV is now stuck on that channel. The guide will come up, but none of the fields will populate, and you cannot change the channel. So we went all the way out there to replace it, and it's still not working. I spent hours on the phone yesterday with the cable company trying to troubleshoot what was causing the problem, and it, as it so happens, they're going to have to come out and hook it up. Now, my parents are elderly. My mother is elderly, and she's been having a lot of problems with Spectrum. Now, I know this is perhaps a far stretch, but you know, I don't know what these corporations are doing to hold back the energy that is coming about in our body. And so I can't be certain that my TV in the room where I grew up, where I always am, is under attack. And for that reason, they can't seem to fix that box. But anyway, I just think we just have to be careful in every way. You know, I just sniffled my nose, running nose. You know, I go outside my parents' home to smoke my cigarettes, and I've been noticing and posting about these chemdomes and chemtrails. I posted for years about how the sylphs, the spirits of the air, come and clean areas above me when chemtrails are dropped. Well, chemdomes are the same thing. And what happens is it'll rain and get cloudy outside, and then for 2 or 3 days it'll be very foggy outside. You can't see clouds. Sometimes you can't see the sun. And we've learned that chemtrails drop poisons over areas. And it was misty raining the other night. I had my glasses on, and I turned to the side, and the wind was blowing, and it blew that rain into my eye, and my eye was burning after that. And then, you know, my mother will make all kinds of tea to clear out phlegm out from our body. And, you know, I noticed that last night, and I was hearing some distant sound in the background that almost like it was some sort of a generator that was pushing out whatever. And, you know, I feel like we are under attack in the air with chemdomes and chemtrails. Now, that's very serious. And they've been doing that for years. And I believe they're ramping it up even more to attack us. Now, I just lost my train of thought. It was one other thing that I wanted to speak about. And speaking about who we are, the beings from the primal worlds, and how we became entrapped in this illusion, and all the entities involved from the Titans on down to Tiamat, all that understanding. Please see that presentation by Hemmitt, New Matrix for Reality, because he talks all about the shadow. 666, carbon, melanin, Satan, Lucifer, Lightbringer, Prometheus. And he talks about the pineal gland, which in most people is probably calcified based on our diet and all the poisoning that they've done to us before we even became aware of it. But do protect your melanin. It is all we have left. All the clones and robots around, all the dangerous things. You know, I was sitting on the outside the house having a cigarette, and one of those drone cars came by. It came by, I noticed it, I got my camera, I got it ready, and it came by again, and I snapped a picture of that thing. You know, had one of you not notified me about possibly what that was when I was out in that neighborhood investigating all the project closings, I wouldn't have known about that. So I want to thank anyone who's contributing to our discussion. Even though you may be at a different level of awareness, or you may be in fear. But, you know, we do have to do what we can. So I have the number of Sister Samara. I can't wait to return to Atlanta and contact her, perhaps pray. After I learn what she does, or if she's still around, I pray for help. And pay her, rather, for help. So I will be doing that when I get back. I have a note here about special education. You know, I intuited that being a special education teacher, which they call exceptional children these days, was something on a higher level, because the children that are incarnating these days, first of all, I don't think anybody who's conscious should be bringing any child into this prison. That is, you know, something I cannot support, bringing children into this prison, but you're calling yourself conscious. But anyway, those souls that have been incarnating, which my spirit led me to become a teacher of those. And I learned quickly that those children are special in ways that we are not yet understanding, because we are living in an illusion. Those children are bucking the system as it is. They're not folding to authority. You know, and I taught the severe people, the severe children and adolescents at the psycho-ed center there in Atlanta. And I just noticed certain behaviors, you know, and how the system didn't want me to help those children. I had one child who was synesthetic. I mentioned it in a staff meeting with the psychologist, the parent, and teachers, and I seemed to be shunned after that. I had one student who was violent and aggressive. I showed techniques to help him get his anger out. They told me not to do that. You know, and I got to where I was growing so much spiritually that everything I was about was not fitting into the system, and I could not be a problem, part of the problem in harming the children. You know, and you can tell when a child is different, because they're wonderful, creative beings and so happy when they are comfortable around you. But then on picture day, you know, they have to sit in front of the photographer and smile. And many of them aren't able to just concoct a smile. And so you spend extra time trying to coax them into smiling so they can get a good picture for their family. One student I had, a little white boy. You know, of course I can't call anybody's names. And he was just an amazing little boy. And he was all into Buzz Lightyear, infinity and beyond. And for me, that was a spiritual message and a sign for me that it was time to leave teaching and move on with my life. Well, I did go back to teaching. I went back to teaching pre-K, and I was in the pilot program that had 5 students. Well, we normally had 20. We had 15, and then we had 5 special needs students. And I just hope that children of today will get the help that they need from people who understand who they are. You know, star children, crystal children, indigo children. And I wish the best for everyone. All right, now I'm going to unplug the phone and finish this segment up. I'm back over here on Cobb Street. The other day, I looked over there and there was a guy outside painting. Make a long story short, he's 30 years old. He bought that house for $98. And he is redoing that home and other homes. And this is how he's going to contribute. Now, my mother came out and talked to him all about making sure he had the deed, because the governments do scam people who buy properties and redo them, but they don't have all the necessary paperwork. There's certain laws about who owns the property and time periods that they have to reclaim their property that has been sitting doing nothing all those years. And he said that he was in contact with that man. He's aware of the state laws and whatnot. And anyway, he was a Christian, and a staunch Christian, like most people in this part of the world. But he was conscious about a lot of things. So I gave him a business card. I'm happy because if my mother's going to be over here, this area, I now understand, was part of the eradication project and the cloning of people, and a lot of drugs have been dumped over here, and it became very dangerous. He says it's no longer like that. And so I'm happy to hear that. And if my mother's over here cutting the yard or whatever, he's going to keep a close eye out on her. You know, my mother, just like me and you, don't want to live in fear. We're not going to live in fear. We're going to go about our life. But we are going to be aware of potential danger. So I wanted to, after I show this little street again, reminding you that the long walk home was formed here. My dad has said that he is going to repaint the house, or I'll do it. I don't know what color, maybe to keep it like it is, but over there is his home. He's painted it a beautiful, what color would that be? Some shade of carnelian, which is the sacral chakra. And my grandmother's home is green. So green is a heart chakra. So to me, even that means something. But anyway, I'm about to snap some pictures, send them to my mom, and get back on the road and head back to Atlanta. I hope you all are continuing to study. I hope you're self-correcting your consciousness and realizing the futility of wanting more of your solution to continue. We are here on a mission, and I'm going to be doing my part, okay? I hope you will be too. I am the Conscious Doctor, Rainbow Warrior. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Ashe.